I have, as you may remember, occasionally mentioned the symbolism o- of the cross. Well, one of them, the cross, the intersection of the vertical and horizontal dimension. And that's a useful reminder for your life, uh, so that at any time you don't lose your connectedness with the vertical dimension, which opens up in the present moment, which we could call the being dimension. In that vertical dimension, you are already whole, complete. There's nothing to add in your, that's because that is your essence, the timeless essence of who you are, and that is connected to the source of all life, connected eternally to the source. It is an emanation of the source, whatever name you want to give to what I now call the source, the origin. So that is your connectedness to source, and that is your oneness with the source. Only to be found in the vertical dimension, which we can also call the being dimension. It opens up when you become present. There is a, no matter how long, cessation of the stream of thinking, and a space opens up, an inner spaciousness. And in that, you realize the depth of who you are, but there is no conceptual realization. There is only a silent knowing, a silent realization of the being that you are, the presence that you are, vertical. The horizontal dimension is the dimension, we could call it the doing. It includes thinking, because thinking is a kind of doing also. So the moment you move into thinking, you're in the horizontal dimension. And then doing, also thinking, then becomes doing. You do something. In order to do something, immediately time needs to come in. You need time. Even whatever you do, you need time. Even to make a cup of tea, you need time to make it. Any doing, thinking also requires time. So time comes in. That's part of the horizontal dimension, and you need time there. Time is the has the two polarities. The time, it on the one hand, it enables you to grow, it enables you to evolve here in this dimension, but to acquire new knowledge, new experiences, uh, to try things out. And as a person, you can become more mature, you can acquire more knowledge. Uh, but if there's a continuous lack of vertical, then the limitations of the person will increase as the older you get. You realize that whatever you achieve on the horizontal dimension has enormous limitations, and these are ultimately never fulfilling. But it's not to be denied. You hear, you need you need the horizontal also, and you need to give it, you need to honor it. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to be bothered with anything anymore, because it's all future. No, nothing, just leave me alone. I just want the vertical. Then the horizontal dimension will make demands upon you. And if you don't challenge yourself, it will challenge you. And even if you challenge yourself, it will still challenge you. So that's the these dimensions. The art of living is to bring the two together, so that when you're engaged in thinking and doing, you don't completely lose yourself in the thinking and doing. And then you give an importance to the world, an absolute importance to the things of the world, including your possessions and your achievements, and whatever it may be, the economic situation. You give an excessive importance to the things of this world, and then this world will consume you, and you will lose yourself in it. And that's a terrible fate. There's a difference between honoring the things of this world and giving it, the things of this world, an absolute importance that they don't have. They have a relative importance. So you need to deal with it, but at the same time know that there is something more fundamental. It doesn't exclude that, but there's something more fundamental, and that is the being which is the consciousness of you, but that you is not the person. So the great thing about things going wrong on the horizontal dimension, which happens from time to time, you might have noticed, in your personal life or in the collective, things go, no matter how careful you are, no matter how many insurance policies you have and pension plans, there's nothing wrong with these things. But no matter what, the world will challenge you, and you will notice there's something unstable about the world. There's something unstable about people. You trust in this person and that person, and then suddenly they turn into somebody else. There's no matter wherever you go, you find an element, small or and very often big, an element of instability. And and then after a while, when that's all you know, you become distrustful of the world and of people too, because you never know what they're going to do next, because you've trusted so many men or women, and then say, I don't want to know of men, or whether it's men or women, doesn't matter. I've trusted them and they always disappoint me. As the Buddha already recognized, every situation and every person, if that's all you know, and if that you give an absolute importance to it, and you demand that it should satisfy you or make you happy, whether it's a personal situation, will disappoint you, disillusioned. And then you become, that's a wonderful word. I'm disillusioned. Well, that must be a good thing, because it's the end of an illusion. I'm so disillusioned with this world and people. And then people formulate weird theories on the basis of that about the world, and they can tell you how bad it all is. So that's important to remember. The horizontal dimension, whatever happens here in this world, will let you down. If you give it an absolute importance, it'll let you down. And if you don't give it an absolute importance, because you are connected to the vertical, out of which emanates, that is it's a continuous source of satisfaction of the beingness of you, then yes, the world may still let you down, but it doesn't matter very much anymore. It doesn't make you unhappy. You are quite okay with recognizing the limitations of the things of this world. And you don't become unhappy, and you don't judge people on the basis of behavior they manifest as part of their mental emotional conditioning. You don't confuse the mental emotional conditioning of a human being with who they essentially are. You can look beyond that dimension because that is part of the horizontal, and you can look deeper. And that's a wonderful liberation, but that can only happen if you are connected to the vertical. If you're able to become still and present, it doesn't matter how long, but you find these inner spaces of just awareness, where thinking is replaced with awareness or presence. And then you look at a totally different way of looking at another human being through the veil of thinking. Even if you've accumulated a lot of psychological knowledge, when you look at another human being, the psychological knowledge, there might be a lot of truth in it, but it's very limited. All you're recognizing is the conditioning of that human being that makes up the person. And so you're looking at it through the veil of thinking. And then you let go of that, and then you look at a human being through awareness or presence. And there's no conceptualization. There's a deep knowing, and you can kind of penetrate into the essence of who they are. But only if it comes, that ability comes from your essence, and the essence is one, you and the other. And then comes the recognition of the other as one with who you are in your essence, because you emanate from the same source. So you're not one out here, but you're one down there.